Hi, welcome back to Snoopshow. Today I'm just outside the Angeles National Forest in Sunland, California, and I figured since I was here, it'd be a good day to talk about what is sometimes referred to as the devil's lettuce, or the green dragon, or cannabis sativa, or as most commonly known, marijuana. So first I gotta show you guys where I'm at because this place is beautiful. Pretty! Okay, so as you guys might know, California is one of the states that recently legalized recreational use of marijuana. So what that means is that it not only is it legal for medical purposes and medicinal purposes, but it can also be used freely by any individual who, I'm not sure if you have to have a license for it or how it goes, but anyway, it's not a criminal offense anymore. So, but the cool thing is that in a lot of other states, certain constituents and certain components of the marijuana plant have also been legalized. So many of you guys have probably heard of THC. It's a chemical called tetrahydrocannabidiol, and this is what's responsible for a lot of the stoned effects of marijuana. So this is, for most people, they assume that the stronger the THC concentration in a certain strain, the more stoned you're going to get, and that's the end of the story. What most people don't know is that THC is actually one of a few hundred different known cannabinoids, which are just the chemicals that naturally occur in the cannabis plant that have a bunch of different properties. So the one that I'm focusing on primarily today is going to be CBD, which is cannabidiol. In addition to CBD, though, before I get into that, there's other things called triterpenes, which are responsible for the different fragrance profiles of the different strains of marijuana that you might find. Especially if you find a state that it's legal in and you go to a shop, you're going to find dozens, if not hundreds of different strains that all look and smell different. And the reason that they smell different is because they have different concentrations of different terpenes. So terpenes are not exclusive to the cannabis plant. For example, linalool is also found in lavender, which has a sedative effect. Myrcene is found also in mangoes and can have a kind of a synergistic effect with THC to promote those more relaxive and what we'd call stoned effects. But there's also ones like pinene, which you find in pine trees and other, balsam fir and more coniferous trees, and those actually have a focusing and sometimes stimulating effect. So the different strains actually can have strongly different effects on the nervous system and the body, in addition to just having a different flavor profile as well if you're ingesting them orally or vaporizing them, smoking them, whatever it is. So back to CBD. Cannabidiol has been legalized in certain states. As you guys know, I used to live in Georgia until recently, for a while, and although the cannabis plant itself and use of it is not legalized, CBD itself is legal, and because it has so many different medical properties. So the primary one is that it's used as a really, really potent anti-inflammatory. As you guys know, a lot of diseases in our modern world are primarily triggered by inflammation. So the inflammatory process is something that your body does as a healing mechanism. So say you get a wound or something, you might feel swelling, it's going to get red, it's going to get warm. This is the body rushing nutrients to the site of the scene of the crime, whatever it may be, to try to promote a healing effect by giving as many resources as possible to fixing the problem. Unfortunately, a lot of us have chronic inflammation, which means our digestive system is chronically inflamed, which means we're not able to absorb nutrients, or our musculoskeletal system is inflamed, which can lead to joint pain. Our cardiovascular system can have inflammation, which can lead to heart disease and atherosclerosis, a whole host of problems. Neural inflammation can cause brain fog, chronic fatigue. Did I say brain frog? Brain fog. Maybe both. Ribbit. But CBD helps with all of those. So if you're someone who suffers from constant joint pain, or you have sleep issues, or you lay down at night and you feel like your body's kind of in a fight or flight state, CBD helps bring that down. And it's really, really effective. And the cool thing about it is that it's not psychoactive. So you can take a medicinally high dose of CBD, even up in a couple grams or a few thousand milligrams, and it's not going to affect you cognitively. So it's not like you're going to be stoned and you're not going to be able to go to your job, you're not going to be able to interact with other people or take care of what you need to do. I've personally found that it just has kind of a centering and a little bit of a calming effect, but not as strong as to be a sedative. It just kind of makes you feel a little bit more loose, maybe, because you're not dealing with all the neural inflammation that you might be suffering from normally. So it also really helps with sleep because of that. I've used it successfully, especially in conjunction with something like magnesium or other other minerals that have a calming effect. It really has a nice synergistic tendency to just help you relax and help your body kind of do what it needs to do, because when you're sleeping is obviously, this is, as you know, when a lot of the tissue repair takes place and the detoxification and taking care of the places that might be inflamed that maybe don't need to be, or maybe if there are specific acute injuries, those inflammatory pathways can help, but you don't want them to become overactive, because if they do, you're going to have all the different degenerative diseases that we see, like heart disease, cancer, Alzheimer's. Pretty much any disease you can name has been linked to chronic inflammation, so it's a really, really big problem. So I'll link below to a couple companies, a couple different sources of CBD that I've tried, specifically for sleep. I really like to use it in conjunction with other things. So there's a company that makes these things called hemp bombs. It sounds really cheesy and something you'd get like a gas station or something, but it's actually really effective. It's combined with theanine, passion flower. I think there's a little bit of magnesium in there. But if you're someone who suffers from insomnia or you have trouble sleeping, good luck staying up when you take a couple of these, because they're really, really effective at helping just promote deep delta state, like beyond even dream level relaxation and sleep. Like it's deep, and you'll wake up feeling really refreshed. You're not going to feel hungover or anything weird like that. So I guess I thought this would be a longer video, but I guess that I don't really have much else to say other than if all you know about, if this is your first time hearing about medicinal use of cannabis, don't freak out. It's not woo-woo hokey stuff. It's not going to make you stoned. If it's legal in your state and you're having problems, especially if you find yourself frequently having to take NSAIDs, which are non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs like ibuprofen, Aleve, Tylenol, naproxen, anything that has to do with relieving pain or migraine symptoms, give CBD a shot. You might find temporary relief from taking all those over-the-counter pharmaceuticals, or maybe you even have a prescription for something stronger, but I can pretty much guarantee you're going to get equal, if not better, results from taking a quality cannabidiol supplement. Not only that, you're not going to deal with a whole host of side effects, which can include heart problems, circulation issues, and even headaches and further inflammation in the future. A lot of people take something like Advil or Tylenol or Aleve, and they think that they're doing themselves a favor because it's alleviating their symptoms, but what they don't realize is those pills actually, they stop inflammation that you do need, and it can actually eventually lead to a kind of counterproductive effect where you're hurting yourself because you're throwing off your natural cleansing pathways and your inflammatory pathways. And when you start kind of using synthetic substances to mess with that, eventually it's going to come back to bite you. So the cool thing about cannabidiol is that it's gentle, it's plant-based. It only comes from the flower of the hemp plant, which means it's from the female plant, so it naturally kind of has a tendency to be more calming, nurturing, centering, rather than like a, stimulating, go out and fight a war type of chemical that you might get from, even the more, when you look at adaptogenic herbs, there are types of herbs that kind of go into the nervous system and balance out hormone levels and stuff like that. But even in that world, if you're into that at all, there's more yin and yang, more masculine, feminine, more hot and cold type of chemicals. So depending on where you are in life and what you need, I really think cannabidiol can help. Like I was saying, I think it's personally more of a feminine, cooling, relaxing, pain-relieving type of substance that might be able to help you. Maybe it won't, maybe it could. But if this is if you've never heard of this before and you are someone who has to take something like ibuprofen or Aleve frequently, you might want to give this a shot if it's legalized in your state. So again, I'll leave some links below that you can try. If you've tried CBD before and had good or bad, if you have any experience with it, feel free to post it below, because some people are desperate right now. They're looking for a way to naturally take care of their symptoms that just don't seem to be going away with the over-the-counter products, or maybe they don't want to use the over-the-counter products because they heard that there's some nasty side effects, which there certainly are. Share your experience, please. If you have any questions about that, or you're wondering if it's legal in your state or where you can get it, I can help you out with that a little bit. So just send me a message or a post in the comments. Let me know what you think. Oh, I want to show you guys really quickly. You might not be able to see it, but there's an orange tree behind, or sorry, a grapefruit tree. And I picked one off yesterday, and it was one of the best grapefruits I've ever had in my life. If you guys can come to a place where fruit naturally grows on the trees and pick one for yourself, I guarantee you it's going to blow your mind. It's so much better than anything that you've ever picked out of the store. It's just sun ripened and delicious and just kind of like I feel like it's like a concentrated version of the energy of where it's grown. So you have all those minerals and information from the soil and the mycelial networks and the local rainwater and the sun, and it's just like living. You just feel amazing. So anyway, give it a shot. Try out CBD. Check out the links below. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and if you wouldn't mind clicking the little bell next to that as well if you want to see more. For anyone you're subscribing to, there's a little bell button that's right next to the subscribe button. Click that, and that way you'll actually get notifications when there's new videos. So, because otherwise, what's the point of subscribing, you know? So, leave me your feedback, like the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.